Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood-Austin, and welcome back.
Okay, this is a fun show because we are in our brand new studio location. Don't know about the colors yet. Don't know about any of the look of the video.
We don't know anything about anything. We're doing our best. We haven't had our guy come in and set our lighting. So if this looks a little weird to you, pretend it doesn't.
And the wall color's different and the lighting's different. Everything's different.
But welcome home.
There you go. Welcome home. That I just got choked up.
Oh, that's so sweet. We bought a house.
Yes, we did.
And I have spent the last 3 weeks now.
4. It's been 21 days, and I only know that for a fact 3 weeks because a computer called me today and said, "Hello, David. This is Mia. I work with David from Sherwood Austin Mortgage." And I said, "That's interesting. How are you? I'm just calling to let you know that your first payment is due April 1st. And if you have any questions for David, call David at a number that's not David's." So I need to update that.
What?
The number they gave me was to Expert Home Mortgage. I don't want to call there to get me.
Oh.
I want to call me to get me.
So anyway, the last 3 weeks, I've been cleaning and painting.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're doing an awesome job.
So
you could be a professional at this.
I agree. Actually, our daughter Andrea came here with her 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old.
That's right.
To help for several days of that. She paints like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I do want to chat about that a little bit if it's okay with you. I don't know what your agenda is today.
I have no agenda. This is just our first episode in the new location.
So I will say, wow. So I always tell my clients, clean is a relative term, right? Oh, the sellers are going to clean. We mark it on the purchase and sale agreement, seller to clean property, right?
Sure. Yes.
And when we do that, I always say to my clients, hey, just so you know, clean is a relative term. I mean, it's gray, right? So what's clean to you may not be clean to them. And so you'll want to, adjust accordingly.
Right.
So most sellers do not have it professionally cleaned.
Okay.
Upon move out.
Sure.
Right. And so keep that in mind. Well, I am really shocked, astounded, and disappointed at what I walked into.
At the level of unclean.
In this house.
Yeah.
I do a transition form, so to try to help make the transition from seller to buyer smoother, and so that nothing is a surprise, right? I like to do that to reduce the stress on my clients. And so I did the transition form for us as the buyers as well.
Right.
And the seller had stated that they would be out of the house. The last load was being picked up by the moving company on Friday morning, and they would be vacated by noon. And so as soon as the property recorded with the purchase recorded with with the county, then we could take possession of the house, which I know is usually around 3 p.m. And so we planned accordingly. And I thought about scheduling the carpet cleaners had an opening for 3 p.m. on Friday, and I thought about scheduling them, but I always tell my clients, listen, stuff happens, so don't schedule anything for the day of closing.
Right.
Schedule it for the next day.
And that's smart.
And so I luckily took my own advice, and we were parked down the street a little after 5 o'clock waiting for them to leave. They still weren't gone.
Watching.
They still weren't gone. It had recorded. I was supposed to have my house, and I was watching them, and I thought, we're about to walk into a shitstorm. Because when you're that late getting out of a house...
You didn't then have time to clean. Right. Here's what I can tell you.
It was disgusting.
Yes. Now,
David.
Now that that's been said, I would like to do a disclaimer.
5 days it took me to clean this house.
Yes, it was awful. Now, here's my disclaimer.
Go ahead.
Often, when you're in a situation like that, you create a drama triangle and there's a bad guy.
Oh, I can tell you who the bad guy is.
Well, I want to be clear. The seller of this home was a lovely woman.
They're not the bad guy.
Who did her best, but here's the problem. Had large dogs and a cat. And large dogs and a cat make a house messy, even if you can't see it upon normal review. And thankfully, you're smart and have years and years and years of industry knowledge to know that, yes, large dogs and a cat equal trouble. So even though every time we've come in this house, before we owned it, it was freshly vacuumed, there's still gobs and gobs and gobs of golden retriever fur everywhere.
And it wasn't just the dog hair, though. It was filthy. And I'm not going to soften it. The person we bought it from, a lovely human.
Yes.
We had a great interactions, and I'm not upset with that person at all.
Perfect.
I will say, gross, disgusting. Oh my God, how did you live like that? So nasty. But I'll also say, I know that the tendency is, like, for the last month that you're in the house, people don't clean it. They're like, screw that, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
Not me.
I see what you're saying.
But a lot of people. And so it was really gross, and it was beyond the cats and dogs. And I think they misjudged. And this is why I tell people, stuff happens. They misjudged the time. They misjudged the amount of work it was going to take.
Right.
And people don't move as much as I've moved in my lifetime.
Six times with me. And we've only been married 6 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, we've bought and sold 6 houses.
Correct.
But we've moved more than that. I moved, out of a house into an apartment, out of an apartment into the house that we shared, our first house together.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've moved like 8 times in the last 7 years, and I moved quite a bit before that too. Listen, I get bored. I go buy a new house, whatever. But yeah, maybe, but not for a while because I'm tired. But I always say that, and then I do it again. Anyway, so I'm kind of an expert at the whole thing, right?
Right.
But most people aren't, and they don't know it's going to take much longer than what they anticipated. It's a lot more work than what they think it's going to be, and there's always the last minute rush, and they're trying and they're feeling panicked because they know they're supposed to be out, and and so but that honest to God, that's no excuse for the filth that we walked into, and the fact that I figured my time. Right? I'm like, it'll take me 1, maybe 2 days to clean the house.
Sure.
Because I'm pretty thorough, right? And so, I mean, not pretty thorough. I'm extremely thorough. And 5 days, though?
Yeah, and we had professionals come in and clean all the air ducts and the heating and cooling system. I can tell you this. I'm very pleased to report that the hot tub was immaculate with fresh water.
Yes.
So that's the thing I care about. And guess what? Lovely. We are not living in this house yet and probably won't for at least another 30 days. But I've been hitting that hot tub hard.
Yeah.
Hitting it hard.
Yes. Yes. Have you been in there alone yet?
No.
You've only been with Diana,
Correct.
our granddaughter.
She and I were in it 3 times.
Yeah, she had a great time. And shout out to our daughter, Andrea, who came up from California and helped me for several days to paint.
Okay, so this house, guys, believe me when I tell you, the whole house was the color of my shirt that I'm wearing now.
It is, exactly.
And the whole house, ceilings, walls, not the floors, but the ceilings and walls in every room, everywhere.
And you might ask yourself, even the laundry room? Yeah.
And good news for you, if you come visit at the new house, you'll get to see the laundry room still that color. Congratulations.
2,730 square feet.
Yes.
Of mint green paint.
That's a lot.
It's about 15 gallons.
Okay.
20 if you include the ceilings.
Okay.
Ask me how I know, because I just ordered another 5 gallons.
And the good news is Londa is an expert painter. So
I would agree with that, actually.
Has been painting like crazy. And I love it. Like the IT guy at your office, when I try to paint, she grabs the brush out of my hand and says, move. So that's good for me.
Yeah. We did paint one room together in our first house, one wall.
In our second house.
First house in West Richland, we painted that wall behind the bed.
Did we?
Yes, together. And you were all nervous because of your history with doing projects together
and
with
getting
your
in trouble.
spouse.
Yeah.
And and it was great.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, it was fantastic. It's because you were, blissfully newly wedded. And then the next time we went to paint a room, I did say, hey, you know what? I got this. You're making more work for me.
That is what she said. You're making more work for me. And I got to tell you, thank God it was a reverse Huck Finn.
I'll do it.
Reverse Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn move.
I've never seen.
You'd really be great at painting the fence. Would I? You'd really love it. Would I? Can I?
I've never seen anybody.
No, you can't, David.
Like that.
You're making more work for me. Get out.
But I do love to paint. I'm a little tired right now, but I do love to paint. There's something very satisfying about it. I feel very proud because I feel like I'm good at it. My grandpa taught me how to paint. He was a painter, and I love that. Like, I do take some pride. There's not a lot that I do really, 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 really well.
Right.
This is one thing I do really, really, really well. Like,
and I love seeing you up on a ladder painting. The old saying, "You belong up on a pedestal." You really do. It's fun to watch you up there doing your thing.
And I love that I can cut corners and cut lines by hand.
Sure.
Left-handed and right-handed. So I'm an ambidextrous painter, and I love that and I think I love it because I think a lot about my grandpa when I'm painting.
Okay.
And I have a lot of fond memories of learning from him and being, because I was that kid who was like, if there's somebody doing something, I'm right there watching them and asking a million questions. And he was very patient and answered all my questions. And yeah, he was one of the first people, he didn't know anybody else doing this, but one of the first people who mixed color into texture, wall texture. Mm-hmm. And so it was like a 2-in-1 kind of application.
So he could like spray on like orange peel texture and the color at the same time?
But they were mixed in one thing.
Yes, one can. Mm-hmm. And so he'd spray on the texture and the paint would be done simultaneously. Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah.
Do people still do that?
I don't know. But he also, I remember him talking about, it was back in the days of when he was when he and his brother Cliff started their paint business, everything was plaster.
I gotcha.
And so he talked about the different tools that they used to make the texture in the plaster. And he talked about using a straw broom to do patterns in the ceiling texture.
Yes,
and
like swirls and
it was
other things.
I was so impressed because that was art.
Yeah, it is art.
It's not now.
I disagree with you. I know a builder. His name's Dennis Miller, not the comedian. And his whole thing is drywall texture. That's his whole deal. And he went on to build custom houses, but his art, his thing is the drywall.
Huh.
Yeah, loves it.
Didn't know.
Loves it.
Anyway, so we've been knee deep in that. 4 days ago, I thought, okay, I've been work has been kind of on life support.
Sure.
A little bit. So now, and this is a tip for anybody who has a busy kind of life-altering event. Oh, because I forgot to tell you, we bought a house and our 13th grandchild was born, and had to go to the NICU.
Right.
And let me tell you, there's no panic like getting a text that says, hey, baby's here, baby and mom are doing great. Followed 4 minutes later by a text that says, actually, we have to go to the hospital. Can you come and stay with the kids?
Right. Stressful.
Yeah. So baby was in NICU for 2 weeks.
Right.
So that
and
was
is now
happening.
home.
Yeah, she's home and she's doing great. And she had her first appointment with her just regular pediatrician and 10 out of 10 stars.
Really?
Yeah, I just got that information while I was driving here.
It was this morning, right?
It was yesterday or today, yeah. But and her pediatrician, as fate would have it, or whatever you want to call it, 20 years in the NICU.
Okay.
So he's very familiar with what she went through and said she's doing awesome and sees no lasting effects.
Awesome.
So anyway, that was going on too. So here's a tip for anybody who's having kind of a topsy-turvy event in life and you're trying to keep your head above water. Time block. Block out your day. And you're like, well, Londa, time blocking takes a lot of... No. Let me simplify it for you. Morning is one block. Afternoon is one block. Evening is a third block.
Right.
The 15-minute manager, no. No.
It's too complicated.
No, when you are hugging a life preserver in the middle of the ocean, just trying to not freeze to death and keep gulps of air coming in your lungs, you need simple. So morning block, afternoon block, and evening block. And so the way that I'm surviving this particular season where everything's been a little bit nuts is morning block is for real estate,
right?
Work. So I can stay focused and keep serving our clients and keep business coming in. Afternoon block is for the projects that have to be done at the new house. Evening block is for cooking and connecting with you, connecting with family, following up on like personal stuff and relaxing.
Right.
And so life gets real stripped down when things are going crazy, but you can maintain it and you can be really successful in really crazy times if you just do that.
If you want to know more about how to do this, we have a podcast called Systems Will Save You. And you can go to YouTube and type Systems Will Save You and find it.
Yeah.
And it talks all about how literally systems will save you.
Yeah.
If you're in a place where you can't focus and you can't think, if you have systems that you have used and have been successful with, if you lean into those systems, you'll be successful.
And that's a system, that time blocking morning, afternoon, evening is a system I've used for 35 years.
Sure.
Even raising my kids when things would get, because I have 7, I gave birth to 7 children.
Right.
And every time you have a baby, it turns the whole house upside down.
Yeah.
And I homeschooled for 24 years. And, those kids don't go away to school for the day. And so that I, quote, get a break. Like it was on me.
Right.
And, you got to survive somehow. And so that's when I developed this idea of, because I used to have, 30-minute, and I thought, God, there's got to be a simpler way for my brain to function. And so and then I discovered as I did that, I'm like, oh, different personality types work best in different sets of structure.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So if I have somebody who's like, a high I personality type, like your personality, life of the party, and they're just really outgoing and they're fun. That personality will fail if you try to make them do the 15-minute manager or the core or something like that. They're going to fail miserably.
I couldn't stand.
There you go.
The every 15-minute thing.
Right?
Hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. I'm the guy that if I get a phone call and it's a client, everything else in the world falls away, and now I'm with that client and can't hear, think, or feel anything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is why when somebody says, okay, David, between the hours of 8 and 9:30, I need you to make 30 phone calls. Well, between 8 and 9:30, I average about 6.
Oh, I was going to say 3, so I was not giving you quite enough there, but 6. Yeah, because you're a talker.
Right, that's right.
Right.
And if somebody asks me a question, I'm not done until they feel like they know that entire subject.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I'm married to you. I totally know. Yeah. Well, it's very interesting when we go on appointments together. I'm done in half the time that it takes you to be done.
Right.
And I've had to learn to lean into like the social part of it. Because for me, I'm business. Business is business. So you want me to make, let me just tell you about the calls in a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I dialed for dollars for couple of years. I did just on a robo dialer. I was calling leads, and I did 100 calls a day, 3 hours.
Right.
So that's 33 calls an hour.
Awful.
And let me tell you, you get fast, but it works for my personality. I mean, I don't want to do that now, but it worked for my personality because we're getting right down to the business.
Right.
So being a little bit more sociable about it is not something that comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
And so
it's good that I have an AI dialer calling customers for me, because Mia, who called me today, and it was shocking to get that phone call, by the way. So if you see a call from Georgia, the state of Georgia, it's really me. Pick it up. It's someone who works for me, a robot, a large language model robot who works for me, and she wants to make sure everything's going okay.
Yeah.
So pick her up. And then let me know what you think about your interaction. I got one person who said, yeah, that robot lady lied to me. And I said, what do you mean? It was right after I transitioned and opened the new company. She called on my behalf and said where I worked, and it was the old place, not the new place. And my client's like, no. He moved. He's no longer there. Oh, I assure you he is. The
client was arguing with the...
Yes. Oh. You had lunch with her on Friday.
Yeah. I already knew who it was. You know what, though? Let's talk about that, because I just said it's all business to me. And yet you just pointed out I had lunch with her on Friday. Right. So it isn't all business to me. So because I do love... it's like... it's two sides of the same coin. Go ahead.
Can I interact here? I think you're different today than you were 6 years ago. It was all business to you 6 years ago. And now you've kind of softened a little bit, and now you are looking for connections.
Yeah.
And you've always served people and done it lovingly, but now you're more apt to have a personal connection that you then carry on after the transaction is finished.
Yeah.
And that's, I think a beautiful thing that you do.
And part of it is where I am in life now. I'm not raising kids anymore.
Right.
They're all out and independent and doing their own thing. And, we're involved with them, but we're not like caretaking.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
And so it's very different. I feel like I have the capacity to have relationships, because when you're caretaking, when I was doing that dialer, I was caretaking 6 kids still at home and both of my parents.
Right.
And my mom was quite ill. My dad got ill right after her. And I was doing a lot of nurturing, a lot of caretaking. And so to add like nurturing relationships in business on top of that, I didn't have the capacity for it.
I wonder... Now that you're saying that, we've talked on this program about how people in relationships have similar frequencies and they operate on similar frequencies. I wonder if your dad getting sick so quickly after your mother has anything to do with them still, while disconnected, don't get me wrong, they weren't talking every Sunday, having similar frequencies.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But you hear stories about people who haven't seen each other for 20 years. And then there was one president, Monroe, I think, and somebody else, Adams, and they died like the same day. and they were political rivals the whole time. I don't remember who that is. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
And I wonder if there could be a connection there, because you're right. It was surprisingly quick after your mom that your dad got sick. And then it was a quick progression. That's interesting.
It was a year later that he got sick.
That's pretty quick.
And he was, diagnosis to death, 3 months.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Awful. Anyway, I don't know why I went down that road, and I apologize.
Yeah. So a lot has happened in the last few weeks, and thank you for bearing with us as we made this transition. And I was fully just like out for 2 weeks.
And we didn't miss a beat at the mortgage company, by the way, because I have a full-time employee who's working on deals all the time.
And I don't.
And we've taken in a few deals since. So we're still moving forward and still, doing all the right stuff.
I wasn't doing anything. Like we still made forward progress. But
we got a house listed. We've had a couple open houses.
But let me tell you, my brain was just not, I was so tired that I was doing crazy things. Like I had a little canister of ice cream, a little gelato. Andrea and I went to the store and we got like some snacks, and I had some of it, and then I had a couple bites of it, and then I put it away, and then I sat down, and Andrea came out from putting the baby to bed, and she opened the refrigerator and she goes, "Hey, did you mean to put that in the refrigerator, or did you?" So stuff like that, where my brain was just not focused.
Well, and there are more outrageous versions of that. Like if you had put your laptop in the refrigerator, that seems more outrageous than putting a freezer thing in the refrigerator, right? Putting the ice cream in your glove compartment, that'd be weird.
I felt like all of it was weird. And there were a couple of days that I was so tired that I was like running and driving home. I was like running into curbs and thinking there was a second lane when there wasn't a second lane.
Oh, yeah, you pulled into oncoming traffic on one thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of...
Everything worked out fine.
That kind of physical exhaustion's probably not the best thing for your...
Which is why...
future health.
Now everything's time blocked,
right.
and I'm time blocking rest as well.
And that's important.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. So...
Well, somebody asked me today what I think about the rising gas prices, because, I talk about the economy pretty frequently in my business. And the answer is, if you hadn't been to the gas station in 2 weeks, the gas prices didn't jump up 70 cents because of the Iran war. They jumped up 50 cents because of new gas taxes. Then they jumped up 20 cents because of the Iran war. So that's, if you haven't gotten gas this week, you're going to do that. But, that's to be expected. The stock market had what seemed to be a banner losing day yesterday and then raced back and finished the day okay. They opened down over 1,000 points this morning, but raced back. Mortgage-backed securities, though, since this war started, are off about 30 basis points, which isn't great news for interest rates. So they're off the highs that they were last week. When everybody was saying, "Oh, we got under 6 for the first time since 2023," until Monday. That's true. Until Monday. So what I'm here to tell you is be aware the unease in the Middle East right now with Iran retaliating from the American and Israeli strikes, and now they've attacked like 8 other countries nearby. That is causing investor tension in the marketplace. So we're seeing big swings up and down in the stock market and in petroleum. What I'm here to tell you is that kind of swing is unusual and not long lasting. So do not pull a ton of money out of stuff and throw it into petroleum. Don't do it. It's going to be short-lived. That's my belief.
Okay.
I wonder what Warren Buffett's doing today.
I don't know.
I bet he's not doing much. I bet he's watching the market and thinking. I bet he's not pulling money out of blue chip stocks.
I don't know.
I should call Les Savage and see what Les is doing. He has the right idea. He does what Warren Buffett does.
Yeah. And if you're feeling a little unsettled about everything that's going on in the world, as we often say, focus on your world.
Right. Focus on what you can do. If you don't like what's happening around you, focus on changing it through means that you can control.
Right. What can I do? How can I make it better? How can I feel better? How can I, ultimately taking care of yourself and the people that you love will always be the winning ticket.
The best way to feel better is to smile and be nice to people. If you're nice, you'll feel nice. That's a magic bullet right there.
Science.
Yeah, science.
I like it.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the show?
Let's wrap. Thank you for being here today and hanging in with us. And we're always wanting to hear your ideas for shows, for questions you want answered, topics you want discussed. Reach out. Our contact information's everywhere. It's so easy to find us. So I'm not going to give it to you because we're too easy to find.
And if you want to find out what's going on with us in our business, our life, and our podcast, you can always go to SherwoodAustin.com. That's SherwoodAustin.com. Okay, 20 seconds left. Any final shots?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for a lot. I'm grateful for our new house and our new neighborhood and our, my health, my strength.
And if you saw me trail off and look off into the space, it's because I'm looking at the 10th green at Horn Rapids. So that's pretty cool. For Londa Joanne Sherwood Austin, the prettiest girl in the world, my name's David Austin, and this has been The Session with Londa and David.